Familiar, but his work sure is. He is the creator of King Kong and other such creatures. We'll learn more about the man behind the film fantasies next.
You're watching Channel 40, Sacramento, Stockton.
Every so often, the entertainment field is blessed with a creative genius, one who changes the way songs are sung, plays are written, and movies are made.
And there is one genius who changed the way fantasy comes alive on film, the father of special effects animation. In tonight's Newsplus special report, we'll meet this man and learn how he brought some of the most bizarre characters to life.
There are those who are either so young or so jaded that the thrill of the old animated monster movies has been eclipsed by the high-tech Star Wars era. And then there are the rest of us. We love every ape, every dinosaur, every fantastic creature, rerun after rerun. And this is the man we have to thank, Willis O'Brien.
He was an artist who strove to make his creations come to life. More than anything, Obie really wanted to have his creatures be real to us and just like leap off the screen at us and you know, just fill our imaginations and our lives with something that never could exist.
O'Brien, a native of Oakland, was the pioneer in stop-action animation. His life and works are the subject of a new exhibit at the Kaiser Center in Oakland, a show that's a bit unorthodox for this gallery.
I think it's great. It's just not quite along the conservative, this is art that you would see in a museum, or this is art you'd see in a gallery. It's a different sort of show. It's more eclectic. It's more of a philosophical tribute, in a sense, to the man's work.
O'Brien's love of creatures and animation began in the early 1900s.
His early work with dinosaurs and making animated movies began almost as an accident. He was working in a sculptural studio, working on the 1915 San Francisco exposition. And he and another person working on making clay figurines for the expo, they just started to play with the figurines and manipulate them.
His first film was a short, The Dinosaur and the Missing Link. His animation was next seen in The Ghost of Slumber Mountain and The Lost World.
The creative genius of Willis O'Brien resulted in some 15 films between 1914 and 1963. But the most popular of them all, the one that has stirred the fears and the imaginations of generations of moviegoers, has been King Kong.
In King Kong was the greatest example of special effects ever done. What they did was Mr. O'Brien, the artist, had taken all of the techniques that he had developed for more than 20 years and brought them to a fruitful and mature artistic vision.
King Kong, made in 1933, was state-of-the-art animation.
Films, as you know, are shot frame by frame, and then when they roll in front of you on the screen, you see it as a continuous movement. Animation is done by moving a figure slightly, and then when it's all projected, it looks like a complete motion. So Mr. O'Brien at first worked just with clay animation, then he invented wooden armatures or skeletons to build the clay around. Then he created metal armatures that had joints and all kinds of elbows and the like, ball and sockets, so that they could move and be held in position.
The movie was filmed almost entirely with miniature sets and tiny creatures.
King Kong was 18 inches tall. I know it's hard to believe the greatest, biggest monster of all time was a mere 1.5 feet large. He was made out of a metal armature, like a skeleton, covered with latex, which is a kind of foam rubber. The foam rubber was then articulated with muscles and covered with rabbit's pelt.
And those natives beating the gong high atop that wooden wall?
That scene was done by having the natives stand on top of a building at the RKO studios. The natives were filmed on top of the building with the big gong. Underneath the natives was a miniature set of the wall, which was matted in. That is, it was projected in front of and below the natives. so that you had the full-size natives, the miniature set.
But some of the work done on King Kong was in vain. For example, when the men searching for Fay Ray fell off a log, they originally fell into a pit of giant spiders. But the producers worried that these astounding creatures would steal the ape's thunder, and they axed the scene. But O'Brien just kept creating more monsters and honing his special effects in movies like The Last Days of Pompeii and Mighty Joe Young.
It was a phenomenally complicated scene because first they had to have live action people rope something. Then they had to merge the film of the live actors with the miniature set that was an exact duplicate of the large live action set. Mr. O'Brien built in little horses so that sometimes it's full-size human beings on real horses and sometimes it's miniature horses. And when I say miniature, I mean like the size of my hand.
Many of O'Brien's film ideas never made it beyond this stage, the continuity sketches. Some of those rejected ideas are part of the Kaiser Center exhibit.
The last of the Osu Sai Papu, which is a movie that O'Brien wrote and illustrated in the early 1950s. We also have Baboon, another movie from the same time period, which was set in the Himalayas and a lost race of intelligent Yetis.
A producer took one of O'Brien's ideas and sold it to a Japanese studio. The result was King Kong vs. Godzilla, a movie that lacked the O'Brien touch. He capped off his career with the 1960s film It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. He died soon after that, and some feel that animation films never will be the same.
Since the days of Willis O'Brien, American filmmakers have gone on to a new breed of special effects, and the creatures in King Kong and Mighty Joe Young have been replaced by Wookiees and robots. But as long as there are exhibits such as this one, and as long as someone is around to show those old films, well, then the new generation of movie fans will find out where fantasy in films got its start. For the 10 o'clock News Plus, I'm Marcia Antipa.
The Willis O'Brien exhibit opens tomorrow and runs through April 16th at the Kaiser Center in Oakland. And if you'd like to relive the stories of King Kong and O'Brien's other creatures, TV 40 will air a week of Willis O'Brien movies starting March 12th.
I, for one, look forward to that. Will the new month of March bring with it wonderful weather? Our wonderful weatherman knows. We'll ask Norm Jacobs next.